In this short tutorial, I'm going to be going over how to cut Bristol board and how to cut construction paper with an X-acto knife. Most of you guys have probably used an X-acto knife before, but if not, because I know it is a new tool for many of you, I wanted to go through it a little bit. Certainly with an X-acto knife, you're going to need to feel it out yourself because you'll be the one cutting. I can only do so much by showing you. I wanted to do a quick little anatomy survey of the X-acto knife to be aware of, just because they can be dangerous. I've seen many fingers cut by X-acto knives. So with this top part, most X-acto knives can twist at this top grip part, and that's what loosens this top grip area so I can take the blade in and out. That's significant because in case you are in the middle of cutting and that twister thing happens to get loose, then the blade might fall out, and that's bad. So righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. We're gonna make that tight and make sure, before I ever cut with an X-acto knife, I'm always making sure that I tighten that piece right there. So I'm gonna put the cap away. You'll notice I have my panels, my construction paper, my Bristol board. Remember, your Bristol board for this project is 16 by 12. I already have that measured out. I did a previous video where I showed you how to use your T-square to measure out how large or small you need to cut out your Bristol board. I did that for the panels before. And in that previous video, I used a rotor trim cutter, that big cutter. But this will be an X-acto knife today. It's always good to have a piece of cardboard or something like a cutting board underneath where you're gonna cut, so that you're not digging your X-acto knife into the material of the table. So please make sure you have something underneath. This happens to be the back end of the pad of Bristol board. It's a different size Bristol board, but it'll work for our purposes. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take a straight edge. I'm gonna use the T-square. And going to position it just like this. I'm gonna line up the edge of the T-square metal with the edge of my line. Can't quite see it because of the shadow there, but if you can see this, how I'm butting it up right next to the line. You're gonna want a firm grip with one hand holding this down. And in the other hand, your dominant hand, take your X-acto knife, hold it tip down like this so that the slanted edge of the blade is also facing the paper. And you're gonna push in and slide it along the metal of your straight edge. Just like that. Be careful to not slide around your straight edge, because part of the X-acto knife cut will be digging in a little bit into the crease between the metal of your straight edge or T-square and the page. So now you'll notice I have a nice clean cut that does not require a cutter. You'll also notice that there might be the slightest bit of graphite from your pencil line that resides. What I would suggest is once you draw your line and once you cut, then the actual project is done on this side, so you don't see any pencil lines. Alternatively, you could take your kneaded eraser and just erase that and you'd be perfectly fine as well. Let's do the final cut. Sometimes you can stop halfway, don't move anything, shift your hand down so there's enough pressure where you need it to go. Continue cutting. There you go. Now we have our 16 by 12 piece of Bristol board for our final project. And I noticed there's a little something scuffed right there. So what I would do is, if that's unable to be covered by a panel, I can always make sure to use this side and just erase any of the pencil marks that I see left over. So now transitioning to these strips, the black construction paper can sometimes be tricky with draftsmanship because they show the graphite line very well. It shows up as a light silver. So this would definitely be something, you can see I already cut one here. This would definitely be something where you'd want to take your eraser and erase that line, or you could just use the back side of your strip. So I'm going to demonstrate this. I'm gonna use what's called a tri-scale. It's just a ruler that happens to be triangular with different measurements on each side. I like to use these because it's easy to, let me rotate this. It's easy to grip and hold down. So that's why I like tri-scale. You can find a tri-scale at like Staples, Office Depot, Hobby Lobby. Okay. Just like that. And there we go. You can see there is a little bit of graphite right there, right along the edge. So for my purposes with the rest of the demo videos, I'll probably flip these over and just use this side. I measured these all out to be a half inch or quarter inch? I actually can't remember. Let's measure this. Yep, a 1/2 inch wide. So that's what I will be using when I demo how to glue these onto the panels in the next video.